What's up, guys? Mason the Rock Henderson here. This is The Flash, Season 2, Episode 21. Holy crap. I heard some good stuff about this episode. I saw, the rating wasn't as good as Rupture the week before, but 9.1 is still very high. But I was watching movie fights on Screen Junkies, and they actually had the writer of Thor and Thor 2, and he wrote this episode for The Flash. And they were saying, oh, it was so great, it was awesome. I'm like, was it good? It was that good? Okay. And going into this, the last episode was interesting, but ended on a note that I was just like, you're going to try to convince me that he's dead? Come on. You don't have to do that. You don't have to make me think he's actually dead. Just end it on maybe Cisco's vibe that he's still alive or something. Anyway, it was still good, though. It was still a good setup for this episode. But man, the whole thing with Barry inside of the Speed Force was just so well done. I mean, this show has had some good moments. This show has had some very good moments. Some of the moments with him and his dad in the first season, the moment whenever he could have saved his mother but didn't, the little moments that these characters have, whether it's Caitlin trying to get over Ronnie or, Cisco trying to understand who he is, these new powers he has, all of this stuff. It's been really good. This is the best that it's been. This is the best that it has been. I mean, I kind of got a sense of where it was going, but at the same time, it's one of those moments, and I've talked about this before, there are moments that you can predict, but you want them to be your prediction. Like, there are times whenever you're watching a show, and you're just like, okay, I think it's going to go this way, and this way. And if it does all those things, I'm going to be very happy about it. And that's exactly what happened here. It hit all the points that I wanted it to hit. It did exactly what I wanted it to do with the Speed Force and with all of, them visiting him in different entities. Starting off with Joe, his adoptive father, okay, makes sense. Then it goes to Iris, the girl that he's loved forever, had moments that he could have been with her, had moments where he couldn't, didn't really ever take his chance. Okay, maybe work out some of those emotions there. His dad at the grave of his mother, who he never visited, like that information was dropped, and I was like, he's never visited his mother's grave. Wow, that's crazy. Like, it's not really it's not like a criticism on the character, but it kind of shows just how much his mother's death affected him. The fact that he never wanted to go see her grave because at that moment it becomes real. That's very good. That is very good character growth. Not growth. Development. No, not that. It's not development. What's the word I'm looking for? It's just, it shows your character and who he is deep down. Like we know who Barry is. We've been with him for a while now. But we never really knew how much his mother's death affected him until now. This really shows just how much it really did affect him. And then, it finally comes to him as his mother. And this, of course, is the final scene. And I'm just like, this is very well set up. And then as his mother's talking to him about all the stuff, it's the final moment where he can finally sit down and sort of have a talk with his mother finally tell her just how he felt to be able to go back in time and save her and choose not to, so he could keep his powers and keep being the Flash. And then that whole conversation they have is amazing. They're sitting on the couch talking about the book, and I'm sitting there, I'm just tearing up. I'm like, Mother's Day. It just happened. I mean, it was so good. It was so good. And the thing is, the stories that always get me are the stories where the son and the father don't really get along, and then ultimately they finally reconcile, because the relationship with my dad was never great when I was growing up. So to see that story, Finding Nemo is the best example I can think of. I always cried at that. I still do. I don't care. Judge me all you want. That type of story always gets to me because it affects me. I've been there. I know how that feels. I've had a good relationship with my mom. She's been there for me. Through the divorce, I mean, I was more opposed with my dad than I was with her. When he and I weren't getting along, she was the one that was there for me as a parent a lot. So growing up, I had a great relationship with my mom, and yet somehow this still made me cry. I'm like, that is very good. That is very well done that you can do that to me. I am an emotional wreck at times, but right now I feel emotionally very sound. So the fact that I still cried anyway, just that should tell you something, okay? It was very good. That being said, all of this episode was really well done. I like, the fact that this particle accelerator thing caused the Tin Man Tony. I want to call him Tin Man Tony. I forget what they called him. But he's now awoken as a zombie and is coming after Iris. I like that little thing going on. So they have something that they've got to focus on while trying to figure out what happened to Jesse and Wally, and then also trying to get Barry back. It felt like a very. It felt like at one moment, if they had all of them working together, they could have gotten Barry out of the Speed Force. If they had all of them together, they could have helped Jesse. If they'd had all of them together, they probably could have stopped Tony. So I like the fact that they have different little avenues that they have to take. And of course, the thing with Jesse, maybe not, because how she ends up waking up, I hope will be explained later, because it was kind of, Barry just comes in, touches her hand, like just Speed Force stuff, and then all of a sudden she's awake. Maybe that will be explained later, but he's like, I know what I need to do, so maybe the Speed Force gave him some insight. But I like the fact that they did have something to do, so they couldn't really focus all their attention on getting Barry back. That was very good for me, because I mean, it's something to sort of, we have this emotional moment here, let's cut away to what's going on here for a second, and now we're back. I like how they did that. It felt very natural, it felt very flowing. It felt like we have a moment here, we take a quick break, and now we're back into it. One of the shows that was terrible at that was Supergirl. Had these moments where, oh, we've got the main plot. Hang on, we need to talk about some of their little dating habits. Was the date good? Was it not good? Oh, pause. Main plot. Oh, now we're back in the relationship stuff. What's going on? Let's talk about it. There was even a time whenever the bad guy was out there terrorizing the city, and instead of going to stop the bad guy, Supergirl's sister was like, you need to go on this date, like, right now. You need to get this... I'm like, no, that's stupid. Anyway, not talking about that show. This is just an example of how well this flowed, that it was able to take breaks from what was going on with Barry. So we have something to sort of, okay, here's the action in this episode. Here's the action, so you can still be entertained if you're here for action. But this is what the story is really about right now. This is what the main plot is. Barry figuring out about the Speed Force. It was very well done. Very, very well done. I'm probably going to say that three or four more times in this review alone. A couple things to talk about. One, Nora had him at a very old age for most women. She was 41 when she died. It was 1959 to 2000. 1959 to 2000. So she was 41 when she died, and he was like 6, which means she had him when she was 35. I don't know why I'm just happening to like focus on that, but it just popped out to me. I was like, she's 41 when she died? That was pretty old. Anyway, it's not really a critique, just something I noticed, something I thought I'd mention. I like how they did the final scene where I kind of figured it was going to be him that was running, it was like he's chasing his own shadow. They never really made that reference, but I like the fact that you could sort of guess that's what was happening. So at the end, he's in the house, the shadow runs in, he grabs it, and all of a sudden it goes to him, and then goes back, and it's him in the Flash suit. And then him in the Flash suit turns around, and now that's him. That was very, very well done as well. There's another one. Sorry. But yeah, it was. I love how they did that Speed Force world. Like at moments, you have Cisco vibing into it and trying to get Barry out. And you've got Barry over here talking to Iris. Speed Force Iris. And then he looks over and there's like a little tornado on the lake, and she's like, "Those are your friends trying to get you out." And, Cisco's reaching out for him. He sees Barry inside the Speed Force. Barry looks at him and then looks back, and he's with Iris on, near the bench again. It was very interesting to see the camera work, especially how well they did that. I don't know what else I could say about this episode, but it was really, really good. It's probably my favorite Flash episode so far. That's saying a lot. Anyway, yeah, those are my thoughts on this episode. There's probably some more stuff that I could talk about, but my mind is so just everywhere because there was a lot going on in this episode, just as far as character growth and stuff like that. The one thing that I will say for the future, I gotta wonder if Jesse and Wally are metahumans now. It does beg some questions, like, are we gonna have a girl Flash and then Wally Flash, and that's gonna be weird. But yeah, so that's something to look for going forward. Oh, the final scene. Almost missed the final scene. Caitlin is in the CCPD with Hunter, Zolom, and Zoom. And, which, by the way, just something I suddenly realized as I'm sitting there, I look at IMDb to sort of look at all the names and stuff so I can tag the names into the videos. And I'm going down, and now that he's not Jay Garrick anymore, it's Hunter Zolomon. I see Zolomon followed by Zoom. And I'm like, Zolomon. I'm an idiot. It was so obvious now that I'm looking at the name Zolomon. I'm like, Z-O-O-M. Zoom. And he introduced his doppelganger as Hunter Zolomon, so I should have seen it coming. I feel kind of stupid now. But anyway, yeah, those are my thoughts on this episode. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. If there's anything that I missed, which I probably did miss some stuff, and you want to talk about it, let me know. We can discuss it. I'm finally caught up, so now I will be able to probably miss the episode on Tuesday because I've got 2 shows that are ending. But I'll probably watch it Wednesday, and I'll finally do a live review. Not really live, but you would know what I mean. Anyway, so leave a like and subscribe for more Flash, and I'll see you at the next review. Peace out.